We have 2017-277, State of Arkansas versus Jason Biddle. Court is making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Biddle. He's for arraignment on charges of furnishing prohibited articles, Class C felony, possession of a controlled substance, Class D felony, possession of control of drug paraphernalia, Class A misdemeanor, and use of a wireless phone for interactive communication or texting while driving, which is a violation. All of those charges are for arraignment today. On those charges, how does the defendant now plead?
He enters a plea of not guilty to all charges.
That plea is noted on the record. Once again, it's a case assigned to the Division III docket of Judge Putman. He's to reappear on July 20th. Any other matters to come before the court?
Your Honor, Mr. Biddle was screened this morning or last night for Care Center Ministries. Just so he will know, that is still a work in progress because of a parole hold. The state is not agreeing to that today, but I'll pass this along to Mr. Bailey. He'll be handling his case next week.
Very well. You may be excused, sir. 2017-273, State of Arkansas versus Christopher Mangrum.
Your Honor, I represent Christopher Mangrum. Excuse me. At this point in time, I'd waive arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty to the charge. And we have an agreement on a setting of a bond, Your Honor.
All right.
The agreement is that bond be reduced to $5,000, which may be posted by a professional bondsman, and there are special conditions attached to his bond, and they are, one, that he be basically under house arrest unless he's driving his mother to or from her medical appointments, driving either of his children to or from their medical appointments, or driving himself to or from his medical appointments, or seeing his lawyer.
All right. So the plea of not guilty is noted in this case on the charges, and bond is set at $5,000, cash or professional, with the conditions of house arrest, with certain exceptions for driving for medical and court purposes only.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That'll be the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The defendant is down to reappear a week from today on the 20th. You can make arrangements in terms of what that he's in front of Judge Putman
To reappear?
To reappear.
1 week from today?
To get on Judge Putman's scheduling.
I see. Your Honor, may I make a quick announcement in a case 2017-271, be the next, I think it's in the bottom part of your docket. It's a Justin Richardson.
Yes. 2017-271, State of Arkansas versus Justin Richardson.
He's not here. He's been arrested, and I've not been hired to represent him, but I did agree to make an announcement for him, and that is that, well, he had his grandmother die, and her funeral was this morning. And so I think what I'm asking for is that he be given next week a court date to reappear with an attorney, or at least for an attorney check on the status of the attorney.
I'm going to note that as an excuse based on this statement, your statement, Mr. Dellinger, and it's an excused absence, but he is directed to reappear on the 20th, which will put him appearing in front of Judge Putman, on whose docket the case has been drawn. So
thank you, Your Honor.
That'll be better for a first appearance. How are you? Will you be in touch with him or able?
I will be.
Oh.
I told him I'd call when I left court today and give him a new court date if you gave me one. And Judge,
July 20th.
With that announcement, that concludes my business.
Right. You may be excused.
Good to see you,
sir. Next case the court is calling is 2016-284, State of Arkansas versus Emery Adcock. It appears that this matter is set down for trial during the week of August 21st. I'm starting there just so we have that date. That's when he's set for trial by continuance back in May. He was ordered to appear on, according to the docket entries, he was ordered to appear on the 6th of July and failed to appear, and an alias warrant was issued. It appears he's now in custody on that alias warrant. Mr. Cooper, have you had a chance to visit with him?
Your Honor, not since he's been in jail, I have not, no.
Okay.
And he's not, before he was put back in jail, he was not in contact with our office.
Okay, the bondsman was ordered to appear in September on the alias warrant, and at this time the court is going to withdraw the alias warrant. He's back on our trial schedule. He's scheduled for trial during the week of August 21st. His next date to appear will be August 3rd. That will be a trial. That will be a trial, a pre-trial date, and August 17th will be his plea deadline. He's down for trial the week of August 21st. I say all that because we previously had some trouble getting him to court. I know that he had some flooding in his area where he lived in May, and he couldn't get to court. He was excused from that, but it meant we had to continue the case from its original setting to the August 21st, and that hearing on that, the court very specifically said that there wouldn't be another continuance. So the court is wanting this case to move forward. We've had since May, we have made little or no progress, and the court's pretty determined to get this matter resolved. So the matter is now, Mr. Adcock is now scheduled for trial the week of August 21st with a pre-trial set for August 3rd. That'll be the order of the court.
Under that is fine with defense. We can certainly be ready by the 21st. I would like, before he's excused, Your Honor, he may have a legitimate reason why he did not appear at his last scheduled court date. Would the court hear what he has to say?
Yes.
I've got a paper at the house that I got from your office, that I had August 21st, I think, and that's what I went by.
You had until August 21st?
I think that's what it was.
That's the trial date that's set. We gave you several, we excused you from appearing once in August and once in June because you were having difficulties because of flooding in your area. And we set your case down for you to appear on September 6th. And if you didn't stay in touch with your attorney and find that out, then that's on you. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with your attorney and communicate about that. You didn't appear on July 6th, and that's why a warrant was issued, and that's why you were picked up and are back in jail. Now, the case is set for jury trial during the week of July and the week of August 21st. That's the jury trial week. Now, there are two appearances that you have to be in court between now and then. The first is on August 3rd, which the court is scheduling for pre-trial hearings on your case, and August 17th, and that's the plea deadline for you to accept or reject any plea offers that are made. and get the case disposed of before jury trial. So all three of those dates, you're now obligated to appear in court. You need to get in touch with Mr. Cooper and discuss that. Where's the status of his bond at this point?
Because the bondsman will no longer remain on his bond. Given that, his original bond was $25,000. The state man has a right to a bond, but given the fact that his bondsman isn't going to stay up with him, I'd suggest his bond be $50,000.
Right?
Your Honor, he initially had a $25,000 bond, and he has not been a client who's just totally ignored us. He has been in to see me. He has made phone contact with me. I think he had a legitimate reason for not being in court back in May. Certainly, I would ask that his bond not be set at any more than what it was previously set at.
Mr. Cooper,
Go ahead.
can you get a chance to come over here with a plea agreement or something? We'll get this over with, because I'm really tired of, all of it.
Do you have a plea offer?
Yes, there's been a plea offer since, yes, Judge, I don't know if it's important what date.
We'll put Mr. Adcock down to appear this afternoon. See if we can't resolve it. Court's going to call 2017-260 State of Arkansas versus Jerry Brown. I think it's on the docket is 2015-260. It's 2017-260. With that is 2015-276, which is a revocation case. Now, 2017-260 is set down for reappearance here today, and I think that was to check on attorney status and make sure the case was moving forward. We have it scheduled by scheduling order for status of the case hearing in October 19th of 2017, pretrial in November of 2016, and jury trial during the week of January 29th of 2018. That's the status of that case at this time. The revocation case, it was set down for revocation today. Is it ready for a revocation hearing today?
Your Honor, it is not. I visited Mr. Brown yesterday. He needs to fill out a new application. Your Honor, he's going, I'm certain that the court's going to appoint us on the revocation. And, Your Honor, I would ask that there's no action to take in his ongoing case, his new case.
Have you been appointed in the new case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. Mr. Brown, the court is informing you that it's required that you fill out an application for the Public Defender's Office in each case that the Public Defender's Office is representing you. You've been appointed counsel in 2017-260, your newest case. On the revocation case, the counsel hasn't been appointed, so you'll need to make that application. It appears that Mr. Brown pled out in front of Judge Putman in the revocation case. For that reason, I'm going to set this matter down for hearing in front of Judge Putman on July 20th. The revocation case is set for hearing on July 20th. 2017-260, its next appearance in court is that October 20th date.
Your Honor, can I address
Excuse
Mr.
me,
Brown?
October 19th.
Your Honor, can I say something to Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
Jerry, either Mr. Bailey or myself, Mr. Bailey will be handling the revocation next week. One of us will be over to the jail to see you, okay? All right.
All right, you may be excused, sir. Court's calling 2016-262, State of Arkansas versus Thomas Russell Hudson. At the present time, it looks like the only thing we have scheduled is a hearing on the bond revocation that was filed. Obviously, Mr. Hudson is now in custody. Court's going to set him down to for trial the week of the next jury trial period, which is the week of August 21st. And again, set him for any pretrial hearings on August 3rd and a plea deadline date of August 17th. Mr. Hudson, I'm providing you with a new trial schedule. I will, and we're going to try to get this case. We had it set for March. I believe was the last date we had it set to go forward. It appears from what's here, you chose not to appear or did not appear in any case, and so apparently there's 3.5 months here that's basically an excluded period while you were a fugitive. While you're out, it's your responsibility to stay in touch with your attorney. Your attorney can tell you of any court dates that change. And as far as this court's concerned, we're going to try to get this case back on track and dealt with. So right now, you're for trial in a month, basically a month from now, the week of August 21st, with a plea deadline of August 17th, and a pretrial set for any pretrial motions will be heard August 3rd. That'll be the order of the court. Any other matters to take up?
No, other than tell, I guess there's no bond issues since there's a failure to appear.
I don't intend to issue a bond. This case is an old case, and he needs to be available both to you as his counsel and to the court for trial and appearances in the future. So we'll just leave the his bond has been revoked at this point, and we're going for that August 21st trial period.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, you may be excused, sir. 2017-166, State of Arkansas versus Samuel Chase.
Your Honor, I represent Mr. Chase. Discovery is complete in this matter. Mr. Chase, I believe, is currently in the custody of DOC on a parole revocation.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chase is on a scheduling order. The court had it down for an appearance today to check on the status of the case. Have we got discovery provided?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the case is on track to
Yes,
move
sir.
forward at this point. Is it a, let me just check. His pretrial hearings are scheduled for the week, or excuse me, for August 31st. His final hearing is set for, that is his plea deadline is September 28th, and he's down for trial during the week of October 23rd. All of those are dates, Mr. Chase, that you need to be aware of. If any of those dates change, they'll change. The changes will be in. Your attorney will be informed. Your attorney, excuse me, will be informed of those changes. So I'm directing you to communicate with your attorneys. I understand while you're in the department, it may be difficult to do so, but counsel is advised to stay in touch with you while you're in the Department of Corrections. I don't have any idea when you're subject to release, so all I can direct is that if you do get released, it is your obligation to get in touch and stay in touch with your attorney. Immediately upon your release, you should contact the Public Defender's Office and communicate with Mr. Friend and or Mr. Cooper in order to be in touch with them. The court considers it your obligation to stay in touch with them, and failure to do so, knowing that you have a trial deadline coming up, this court will consider a form of contempt of court. In other words, if you get out, you contact your attorney, you should be informed of any changes in the trial deadlines. It is your obligation to stay in touch with them and to meet all of those obligations. You should schedule an appointment with them and keep that appointment. And if you fail to do that, the court the court is ordering you to do that, and if you fail to do that, the court will hold you in contempt of court for failing to do that. So just making sure you understand what the rules are here. All right? You understand?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right. You may be excused. 2017-202, State of Arkansas versus Amelia Pittaway. Court is making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Ms. Pittaway. This is scheduled by scheduling order. This is the hearing to check on the status of the case. The case is set for trial during the week of January 8th of 2018. There's a plea deadline in November 16th and a pretrial hearing date of September 28th. What's the status of the case, counsel?
Your Honor, the status of this case is that there is no action to take today. It needs to stay on the court's scheduling calendar. We visited yesterday, and we do not have an agreement at this time.
Okay. Well, it'll move forward in accordance with the scheduling order. Ms. Pittaway, you've been informed of the dates. As long as you're in jail, I will anticipate that the counsel will stay in touch with you. If you bond out, it is your responsibility to get in touch with the Public Defender's Office and make and keep every appointment, get an appointment scheduled so you can get in to see them and they can prepare for trial. Your failure to keep your appointments with the make or keep your appointments with the Public Defender's Office will be considered. The court is ordering you to do that, so the court is going to consider that contempt of court if you fail to do that. So make sure if you do get out, you get in touch with the Public Defender's Office and follow up on your requirement to stay in touch with them.
Your Honor, I think what is keeping her in jail at this point, I think she's made bonds from this court, but she has a bond from Judge Duffy's court. I believe it was $6,000 cash. That's what's keeping her in jail.
I see.
So there's no action to be taken on her bond issues today. She's already satisfied those, to my knowledge,
All right.
in this court.
Very well. You may be excused.